Forging the Iron Mind, a Stoic Path to Unwavering Strength. In an era characterized by heightened emotionality, where anger flares at the slightest provocation and sadness casts long shadows over mundane inconveniences, the allure of Stoicism is undeniable. As the video content from The Stoic Man Lab aptly observes, we live in a time filled with anger, sadness, and jealousy. It's a time when people can be upset and enraged about something that plagues them for weeks, and when you ask them what they are angry about, they don't even know themselves. We live in a time when people will cry with sadness and have their day ruined by the most minor inconveniences. The figure who remains unfazed, the individual who can navigate the tumultuous tides of life with unwavering composure, embodies an ideal many aspire to achieve. This is the person a child wants as a father, a mother wants as a son, and a woman wants as her husband. No matter what this person feels, he will always do what needs to be done and therefore get what he wants. This is the Stoic. The desire to possess an iron mind, impervious to the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, is a yearning for inner strength, resilience, and the ability to act rationally and decisively in the face of adversity. But what does it truly mean to be a Stoic? Is it about suppressing emotions altogether, becoming a robotic automaton devoid of feeling? Or is it something more nuanced, a process of cultivating inner peace and harnessing emotions for constructive action? This exploration will delve into the core principles of Stoicism, drawing inspiration from the video transcript while weaving in original insights and perspectives. It's a journey towards understanding how to develop an iron mind, not by eradicating emotions, but by mastering them, channeling them, and ultimately using them to achieve our goals and live a more fulfilling life. The notion of an iron mind often conjures images of unyielding rigidity, an almost superhuman ability to withstand any pressure without cracking. However, Stoicism isn't about becoming emotionally impenetrable. It's about recognizing that emotions are a natural and inevitable part of the human experience, but that we have the power to choose how we respond to them. It's about cultivating a mental fortitude that allows us to navigate the challenges of life with equanimity, clarity, and purpose. Imagine a skilled martial artist. They don't attempt to eliminate the possibility of being struck, instead, they train to anticipate attacks, to absorb the impact, and to redirect the force. Similarly, a Stoic doesn't deny the existence of negative emotions, they acknowledge them, understand their source, and then choose a rational and virtuous course of action. This process requires self-awareness, discipline, and a commitment to living in accordance with reason. The pursuit of an iron mind is not about achieving a state of perpetual bliss or emotional neutrality. Life will inevitably present us with challenges, setbacks, and moments of profound sadness. The key is to develop the mental resilience to weather these storms without being capsized by them. It's about learning to accept what we cannot control, focusing our energy on what we can, and finding meaning and purpose in the midst of adversity. The video content outlines 5 steps towards developing an iron mind, each offering a valuable piece of the Stoic puzzle. These steps aren't presented as a quick fix or a magical formula, but as a set of guiding principles that require consistent practice and diligent self-reflection. It's a journey of continuous improvement, a lifelong commitment to cultivating inner strength and living a more virtuous life. Let's embark on this journey together, exploring each of these steps in detail, drawing on both the wisdom of the video content and the timeless teachings of the Stoic philosophers. We'll examine how to live in the present moment, harness the power of negative emotions, accept what we cannot control, take responsibility for our own lives, and cultivate the habit of consistent practice. Through this exploration, we'll discover how to forge our own iron minds, not by eliminating emotions, but by mastering them and using them to live a more purposeful and fulfilling life. This is not just about masculine development, it is about human development. The principles of Stoicism transcend gender. They are for all people. 1. The power of now, embracing the present moment. The first step towards developing an iron mind, as articulated in the video, is to embrace the present moment. There is no past, there is no future, there is only the present. This echoes the wisdom of Epictetus, who stated that a strong mind does not dwell on the past or worry about the future, it focuses on the present moment, where true strength resides. The tendency to ruminate on past mistakes or anxieties about future uncertainties is a common source of emotional distress. We replay past conversations in our minds, agonizing over what we should have said or done. We worry about future scenarios, imagining worst-case outcomes and fueling our anxieties. The Stoics recognized that both the past and the future are beyond our control. The past is immutable, we cannot change what has already happened. The future is uncertain, we cannot predict what will happen with absolute certainty. The only thing we truly have control over is the present moment, our thoughts, feelings, and actions in this very instant. Living in the present moment requires a conscious effort to shift our focus away from the past and the future and to bring our attention to the here and now. This can be achieved through practices such as mindfulness meditation, which involves paying attention to our breath, our senses, and our thoughts without judgment. By training our minds to stay present, we can reduce our levels of anxiety and stress and cultivate a greater sense of inner peace. The video emphasizes the correlation between our actions and our outcomes. What you want is not correlated to what you get is only correlated to what you do. This highlights the importance of focusing our energy on taking action in the present moment. Instead of dwelling on our desires or lamenting our shortcomings, we should focus on taking concrete steps towards achieving our goals. Furthermore, the video underscores the role of habits in shaping our identity. Your habits create who you are, and all your habits take place in the present. This highlights the power of consistent action in the present moment to transform our lives. By cultivating positive habits, such as exercising regularly, eating healthy foods, and practicing gratitude, we can gradually transform ourselves into the people we aspire to be. To embrace the present moment, we must learn to let go of our attachments to the past and our anxieties about the future. This requires a conscious effort to reframe our thinking and to focus on what we can control. Instead of dwelling on past mistakes, we can learn from them and move forward. Instead of worrying about future uncertainties, we can prepare for them and trust in our ability to handle whatever challenges may come our way. The key takeaway here is to cultivate a practice of mindfulness, bringing our attention back to the present moment whenever our minds begin to wander. Focus on taking action in the present moment, cultivating positive habits, and letting go of our attachments to the past and our anxieties about the future. This is the Stoic path to cultivating inner peace and harnessing the power of the present moment to shape our lives. 2. The alchemy of emotion, transforming bad feelings into fuel. The second step on the path to an iron mind involves a radical reinterpretation of negative emotions. You have to realize that bad feelings can be used for good. Anger, sadness, and heartbreak can help you wake up earlier, work harder, train harder, and be more productive than you ever thought was possible. This is the alchemy of emotion, the ability to transform base metals into gold, to convert negative feelings into fuel for positive action. The prevailing cultural narrative often portrays negative emotions as something to be avoided or suppressed. We are encouraged to seek happiness and to avoid anything that might trigger sadness, anger, or fear. However, the Stoics recognize that negative emotions are an inevitable part of the human experience and that they can actually serve a valuable purpose. Anger, for example, can be a powerful motivator for change. When we are angered by injustice or inequality, it can fuel our desire to fight for what is right. Sadness can provide us with valuable insights into our values and our relationships. When we experience loss or heartbreak, it can help us to appreciate what we have and to strengthen our bonds with those we love. The video emphasizes that bad feelings can be the ultimate motivator, helping us to achieve our goals. This highlights the importance of learning to harness our emotions, rather than being controlled by them. It's about recognizing that even negative feelings can be a source of energy and inspiration. However, it's important to distinguish between healthy and unhealthy ways of dealing with negative emotions. Suppressing or denying our feelings can lead to a buildup of emotional tension, which can manifest as anxiety, depression, or other health problems. Similarly, lashing out in anger or engaging in destructive behaviors can have negative consequences for ourselves and others. The Stoic approach involves acknowledging and understanding our emotions, but then choosing a rational and virtuous course of action. This requires self-awareness, discipline, and a commitment to living in accordance with our values. Instead of allowing our emotions to dictate our behavior, we can use them as a source of information and motivation. For example, if we are feeling angry, we can ask ourselves what is causing our anger and what we can do to address the underlying issue. If we are feeling sad, we can allow ourselves to grieve, but then focus on finding ways to heal and move forward. The key takeaway here is to embrace our negative emotions as a natural and inevitable part of the human experience. Learn to harness their power, using them as fuel for positive action and growth. Practice self-awareness, discipline, and a commitment to living in accordance with our values. This is the Stoic path to transforming bad feelings into good and to cultivating an iron mind that is resilient and adaptable. Remember, emotions are not the enemy, they are valuable data points. 3. The art of acceptance, embracing what you cannot control. The third step in forging an iron mind rests on the bedrock of acceptance. Accept what you cannot control. If something is completely out of your control, then there is no need to waste your energy by getting upset or frustrated. This principle, central to Stoic philosophy, acknowledges the inherent limitations of human agency. So much of what occurs in the world, from the weather to the actions of others, lies beyond our sphere of influence. To expend emotional energy railing against these uncontrollable forces is not only futile but also detrimental to our inner peace. The Stoics distinguished between what is within our control, our thoughts, judgments, and actions, and what is outside our control, everything else. They argued that true happiness and tranquility come from focusing our energy on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. The video provides a practical example. If your flight is cancelled, getting angry because of it will never change the outcome of the situation. This illustrates the absurdity of getting upset about something that is beyond our control. While it's natural to feel disappointed or inconvenienced and a flight is cancelled, allowing that feeling to escalate into anger or frustration serves no purpose. It only wastes our energy and diminishes our inner peace. Stoicism, the video clarifies, isn't about not having emotions but learning how to control them. This is a crucial distinction. Stoicism is not about suppressing or denying our emotions, but about regulating them and preventing them from controlling our behavior. It's about acknowledging our feelings, understanding their source, and then choosing a rational and virtuous course of action. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or apathy. It doesn't mean that we should passively accept injustice or inequality. It simply means that we should focus our energy on what we can do to make a positive difference, rather than wasting our time and energy on things that are beyond our control. For example, if we are concerned about climate change, we can take steps to reduce our own carbon footprint, support environmental organizations, and advocate for policies that promote sustainability. However, we cannot control the actions of other individuals or governments. We must accept that some people will not share our concerns and that some governments will not take the necessary steps to address the problem. The key takeaway here is to cultivate a practice of acceptance, recognizing the inherent limitations of human agency and focusing our energy on what we can control. This requires a conscious effort to identify the things that are beyond our control and to let go of our attachment to them. It also requires a commitment to taking action in the areas where we can make a positive difference. This is the Stoic path to cultivating inner peace and living a more meaningful life. 4. Radical responsibility, owning your life, fixing your problems. Building upon the foundation of acceptance, the fourth step towards an iron mind demands radical responsibility. Take responsibility. You may not be responsible for what has happened, but in life, you are responsible for fixing problems you didn't create. This principle underscores the proactive nature of Stoicism. While acknowledging that external forces often shape our circumstances, the Stoic mindset emphasizes our power to choose how we respond to those circumstances and to take ownership of our lives. Life inevitably throws curveballs. We may be faced with challenges that are not of our own making, problems that seem unfair or unjust. However, the Stoic perspective encourages us to shift our focus from blaming external factors to taking action to improve our situation. The video emphasizes that you may not be the reason for a bad situation, but you are the only one who is responsible and capable of getting out of it. This highlights the importance of self-reliance and the power of individual agency. Waiting for someone else to solve our problems is often a recipe for disappointment. Taking responsibility for our own lives empowers us to take control of our destiny. Furthermore, the video points out that, by helping yourself, people are more likely to help you. This underscores the importance of self-initiative and the principle of reciprocity. When we demonstrate a willingness to help ourselves, others are more likely to be inspired to offer their assistance. The video illustrates this with a compelling analogy. If your car breaks down on the highway and you stand there waving for help, nobody will stop. But if you begin to push your own car, other drivers will get out and push with you. This highlights the power of action to inspire others and to attract support. Radical responsibility doesn't mean blaming ourselves for everything that goes wrong. It simply means acknowledging that we have the power to choose how we respond to our circumstances and that we are ultimately responsible for our own lives. It's about shifting from a victim mentality to an empowered mindset. To cultivate radical responsibility, we must first identify the areas in our lives where we are abdicating responsibility. Are we blaming others for our failures? Are we waiting for someone else to solve our problems? Are we making excuses for our inaction? Once we identify these areas, we can begin to take ownership of our lives and to take action to improve our situation. This may involve setting goals, developing new skills, seeking support from others, or simply changing our mindset. The key takeaway here is to cultivate a practice of radical responsibility, acknowledging that we have the power to choose how we respond to our circumstances and that we are ultimately responsible for our own lives. This requires a conscious effort to shift from a victim mentality to an empowered mindset and to take action to improve our situation. This is the Stoic path to cultivating self-reliance and taking control of our destiny. 5. The crucible of practice, forging the iron mind through daily effort. The final, and arguably most crucial, step towards developing an iron mind is the unwavering commitment to practice. No amount of theoretical knowledge can replace the value of practice. No video can do the hard work on your behalf. I can guide you on what actions to take, but it is you who must diligently engage in daily practice. This principle underscores the transformative power of consistent effort and the limitations of mere intellectual understanding. Stoicism is not a passive philosophy to be admired from afar, it is an active discipline to be lived and embodied through daily practice. The video emphasizes that theoretical knowledge alone is insufficient. Reclaim authority over your life and sincerely contemplate these steps with thoroughness. This highlights the importance of integrating Stoic principles into our daily lives, translating abstract concepts into concrete actions. The journey towards an iron mind is not a sprint, it is a marathon. It requires a sustained commitment to practicing Stoic principles on a daily basis, even when it is difficult or uncomfortable. It's about consistently choosing reason over emotion, virtue over vice, and action over inaction. Furthermore, the video offers a valuable reminder. If you ever find yourself overwhelmed by strong emotions, you can always revisit this video for guidance. This underscores the importance of self-compassion and the acceptance that setbacks are an inevitable part of the process. Developing an iron mind is not about achieving perfection, it's about consistently striving to improve and learning from our mistakes. To cultivate a practice of Stoicism, we can implement the following strategies. Daily Stoic meditation. Set aside time each day to reflect on Stoic principles and how they apply to our lives. Practice gratitude. Focus on appreciating what we have, rather than dwelling on what we lack. Embrace discomfort. Step outside our comfort zone and challenge ourselves to overcome obstacles. Cultivate self-awareness. Pay attention to our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors and strive to act in accordance with our values. Seek mentorship. connect with other individuals who are committed to living a Stoic life and learn from their experiences. The key takeaway here is to cultivate a practice of Stoicism, integrating its principles into our daily lives through consistent effort and diligent self-reflection. This requires a commitment to continuous improvement, self-compassion, and a willingness to learn from our mistakes. This is the Stoic path to forging an iron mind and living a more virtuous and fulfilling life. In conclusion, the pursuit of an iron mind, as explored through the lens of Stoicism and the insights provided by the Stoic Man Lab, is not about achieving emotional invulnerability but about cultivating inner strength, resilience, and the ability to act rationally and virtuously in the face of adversity. The 5 steps outlined in the video content: embracing the present moment, transforming bad feelings into fuel, accepting what we cannot control, taking radical responsibility, and committing to consistent practice, offer a comprehensive roadmap for navigating the challenges of life with equanimity and purpose. The journey towards an iron mind requires a fundamental shift in perspective, a move away from seeking external validation and towards cultivating inner virtue. It's about recognizing that true happiness and fulfillment come not from avoiding pain or seeking pleasure, but from living in accordance with reason and our own inherent values. It's about embracing the challenges and setbacks that life inevitably throws our way, viewing them not as obstacles to be avoided but as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. The Stoic principles of mindfulness, acceptance, and responsibility provide a powerful framework for navigating the complexities of modern life. By focusing our energy on what we can control, our thoughts, feelings, and actions, and accepting what we cannot, we can cultivate a greater sense of inner peace and reduce our levels of stress and anxiety. By transforming negative emotions into fuel for positive action, we can harness their power to achieve our goals and overcome obstacles. And by taking radical responsibility for our own lives, we can empower ourselves to take control of our destiny and to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life. The key to success lies in consistent practice. Stoicism is not a passive philosophy to be admired from afar, it is an active discipline to be lived and embodied through daily effort. By integrating Stoic principles into our daily routines, we can gradually transform our minds and cultivate the inner strength and resilience necessary to weather the storms of life. This is not a quick fix or a magical formula, but a lifelong journey of continuous improvement. As the video content wisely reminds us, setbacks are an inevitable part of the process. There will be times when we feel overwhelmed by strong emotions, when we struggle to live in accordance with our values. But it is in these moments that the true test of our Stoic resolve lies. By revisiting the principles outlined in this exploration and recommitting ourselves to the practice of Stoicism, we can overcome these challenges and continue on our path towards an iron mind. This exploration is an invitation to embrace the Stoic path, to cultivate inner strength and resilience, and to live a more purposeful and fulfilling life. It's a call to action, a challenge to transform ourselves from passive observers into active participants in the shaping of our own destiny. It's about forging an iron mind, not to become emotionally impenetrable, but to become emotionally resilient, capable of navigating the challenges of life with equanimity, clarity, and unwavering purpose. What do you think? This exploration began by highlighting the appeal of Stoicism in an era of heightened emotionality, as pointed out by the Stoic Man Lab, emphasizing the desire for an iron mind capable of unwavering composure. It clarified that Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions, but mastering and channeling them. The video content's 5 steps were then analyzed. First, embracing the present moment, as advocated by Epictetus, involved shifting focus from past regrets and future anxieties to the here and now through mindfulness. Second, transforming bad feelings, like anger and sadness, into motivation requires harnessing emotions for positive action. Third, accepting what cannot be controlled, such as external events, necessitates focusing energy on controllable aspects like thoughts and actions, distinguishing this from apathy. Fourth, taking radical responsibility means owning one's life and actively fixing problems, inspired by the pushing the car analogy where self-initiative attracts help. Finally, the crucible of practice emphasizes that theoretical knowledge is insufficient, consistent, daily effort is necessary to embody Stoic principles. The exploration concluded by emphasizing that the journey requires a shift from external validation to inner virtue, embracing challenges for growth, and using Stoic principles for mindful living. It called for consistent practice, accepting setbacks as part of the process, and ultimately forging an iron mind for resilience and purposeful living. This summary encapsulates the key points of the journey, highlighting the Stoic path to cultivating inner strength and living a more virtuous and fulfilling life, urging the reader to embrace action and transform their lives.